All right, we're here. Getting set up. Oi, it is Wednesday, my dudes. I am not usually with you on Wednesdays, but we're doing it now. Let's see. Make sure everything's going. Bring myself up to full screen. Is that the word? Ooh, do not disturb mode on the computer. Cool. Okay. Hello, I'm gone. My webcam is gone. Just a second. Let's try that again. Ah, there I am. I'm on this screen, though. We might be able to cope with that. Ooh, and I'm a mess. All right, so, yeah, it's Wednesday. I'm not usually here on Wednesdays, but I'm going to do a special unplanned live coding session to fuss around with an idea that we being myself and Andrew on my team had just earlier today. So, I guess I'll start with my typical preamble. My name is Mike. I am Director of Technology for Gymnasium.com. Gymnasium is a free online school where we do courses on design, development, techniques, tactics, practices, and all sorts of good stuff having to do with building software and related collateral in the modern era of 2019. I use our homepage and Twitch on occasion, generally weekly on Tuesday afternoons, to live stream my work. I was not online yesterday because we had a live event. We had a webinar. If you were there, I hope you enjoyed it. If you weren't there, we will make the recording of the event available to you shortly. At any rate, I'm jumping on today to live code with the goal of taking on a very short-term, hopefully like doable within a couple hours here, project where we're going to take one of our pages and bring it from our old CMS system, which is a bit of a it's easier to work with than the alternative, but the situation we're in right now, it's not getting the job done. And what we're going to try and do is take some of these static pages from the old site and move them to static pages on the new site and slowly start to migrate them over. So let's talk about how we're going to do that while I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, because I'm getting a billion messages here. Okay, so I'm going to start with a simple example because I think that is going to be a good way to do this. So I'm going to start with our About page here to explain what I'm doing and lay out what I'm doing, and then we will practice it in the real world and make it actually happen in the project with a more complicated page. So let's break this stuff down. Here's what we're doing. We're going to move this page into our almost said Jekyll, our Gatsby site, and render it in our current Gymnasium site using our tricky CMS include tactics that we currently use. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to rebuild this page, and really kind of just the things within this border here, the content area of this page is going to be rebuilt as pages on our Gatsby site, and we'll pipe that in through our CMS through some shady backwoods JavaScriptery that only a mother could love. So first things first, apparently I need to unbreak some failing, oh boy. Okay, well, before we do that, I need to fix some stuff. I opened this pull request to merge so that I could have a unified code base to go from. Please check the logs. What went wrong here? read property path of undefined. Okay. Well, we're going to push a quick commit to that. This was in, presumably, full courses, course summary, list item, featured course. No, let's see if we can tell. Image with a link. It was this guy. Just going to wrap this in a conditional to not break if there is no cover image. So this is saying if there's a cover image, we're going to return this guy. And it was currently breaking on cover image.path, and it was saying you can't read property path of undefined, which means there's some case where we get to this page and the cover image doesn't exist. So that should do it. Problems you don't have with typical HTML. So we're going to let that process and deploy, and we'll merge this pull request, and then we'll start a new branch. This should only take a few seconds. The general idea here is going to be to pull the content off of the old CMS for, I think I said I'll start with the About page. So we'll grab that About page and the content therein, and show how this is going to work, and then we'll take on the more complex page. I think that's a good way to do it, because the About page is really simple. Really, really simple. So we're just going to let this thing deploy. And for future Mike, I'm going to change the title of my Twitch stream to Rebuilding Gymnasium on Gatsby. With Gatsby? With Gatsby. It's not on. With Gatsby. Updated. Great. Looks like this may be happier this time around. That's good news. Looks like I have a console log left in here. All good. Site is live. Preview. Cool. Cool. Okay. Everything looks like it's working there. So we're gonna merge this pull request, which should finish being in progress sometime soon. Let me refresh this. Maybe that'll be helpful here. Oh, storybook is still building. Okay. Come on now. Well, I don't really need to wait for the storybook. We're going to use my privilege, merge the thing, delete the branch, And then we're going to start a new branch from master. So we're going to fetch. We're going to start with origin master. We're going to do feature static pages. Cool. Okay, so first things first, we should probably do this. Well, actually, let's talk about some strategy here first. So we're going to create the page, and it's going to be a particularly bland page because of the way our imports work. Yeah, it's going to be a little difficult to show off some of this stuff here. But I think we can get most of the way there. Okay, so let me pull up my terminal window. We're going to start with what I usually start with, which is updating the dependencies for this project. Yeah, so that's yarn upgrade. Ooh, let me zoom. Zoom again and again. Yarn upgrade interactive latest, which will give me any package updates that are needed here. Looks like there's a loader that updated, prettier updated, .env. Interesting. I wonder what changed there. And some small Gatsby related things. Let me pull this up so we can see. We'll change those in the meantime. What happened with version 8? Change log. Drop support for Node v6. Cool. Node v6 just went out of long-term support, I believe. Great. We're going to do the same upgrade. Meanwhile, I'll commit these as revision package updates commit. Then we'll do update .env to 8.x1x. Cool. All right. If I run yarn start, it should run just Gatsby. Great. And in here, the site should be running. We'll commit this .env change. Pull up the site just to confirm that it's running. Great, and immediately I'm going to take it down because we're about to add a page to the site. Actually, I don't know if I need to do that. I think I do, though. Yes, no, I definitely do. Yeah. Okay, so we'll take it down, just prove that it's running with those package upgrade dates in place, and we're going to add a new folder for a new page and call it about. And in here, we're going to do an index.js, which will be our about page. We'll also do about.module.css. Which will be our CSS module as needed. In here, we're going to create our React component. And that might be it, actually. In this case, we're not even going to be importing any site content yet. This is going to be a very, very simple component for the from the beginning, because it's really just going to be a fragment with some content in it that will return. And just for just to get this thing running, we're going to do that. There are no props coming in. There's no query exported, all that stuff. I just needed to create the page so that, oops, sorry. I forgot to zoom in on this too. I need to create the page so that Gatsby would create a route for it during its startup process. And now, if I come in here and I refresh and I go to About, oh, I don't even have, oh, I do have a link. There's my About page. Super plain, there's no layout even. Excuse me. Which, in this case, will work to our advantage. Boy, I think I can even get tricky on this. Yeah, okay, great. So there's going to be a few different things to show off here. It's all about nothing right now. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the source for our current About page and get this thing finished. It will be finished in about, I don't know, a minute, something like that. We'll copy the raw source for this, including the front matter. I'm going to come into the About page and paste that source in here. And then, oh boy, I may need to zoom out a bit here. Sorry about that. Get rid of the comment, which is only temporary HTML for style hooks. Nope, don't need that. Don't need that. And don't need the front matter. And hit save. With any luck, I have no luck. There must be a broken something in here somewhere. Fragment has no corresponding closing tag. So there might be some unbalanced. There's a link tag that's not closed in here. It's this link tag, which we're going to have to move anyway. But Prettier automatically formatted it for me. Put everything into its place, and we're going to import helmet from React Helmet. I think that's how we do it. Let's see. Import helmet from React Helmet. No, it's not destructured. Import helmet from React Helmet. We're going to drop our helmet in here. Oh, actually, I think that's okay. For round one, it can look like this. So we're going to import this style sheet from elsewhere, which should be allowed. I don't think there's any cross-site scripting worries with CSS. I could be wrong. I'm sure I'm wrong in some crazy edge case. We also control both sides of the URL here, so at worst I can just go and grab that CSS and move it into this project. And so now my About page will start to look a little different. Yeah, and this is actually all we need to make the About page work on our site, which is a little tricksy, but it should work. Because the way our CMS works, it will actually come to this page and go and grab the output from it. Shoot, which is wrapped with this HTML and head and all that goodness. Okay. It's commons.js. That's interesting. Oh, that's for Gatsby Edge. That's not good. So we may have to serve this up as a raw file because we actually don't want this to be served as a full HTML page in this case. So we don't want the HTML tag, we don't want the head tag, we don't want the body, we don't want the node script. We really just want, I think, everything that I've included here. So main content static and below. So how do we make that available? I believe the answer is a Gatsby plugin. this is where we're going to start to get a little tricky. So, plugins. Copies local files linked to from Markdown to your public folder. Ah, okay. Now we're on to something. So here's an interesting thing about Gatsby plugins. I'm going to go to the GitHub project for this particular plugin, the Remark Copy Linked Files plugin. All Gatsby plugins are is additional Gatsby code that renders some that does some magic during the probably the Gatsby node loop. What we need to do here is figure out how this, let me be clear. This plugin, Gatsby Remark Copy Linked Files, will copy local files linked from your Markdown folder to your public folder. We really just want to copy some specific things to the public folder, and we're going to figure out how to do that here. So, let's look at how this thing works. If I go into the source directory, this is the entirety of this plugin. We can figure out how it works. So it does some file system stuff, which makes sense. FS extra, not sure what that does, but we'll figure it out. Deploy directory. It's public. Process dot current working directory. Oh, interesting. Okay. This may actually be easier than I'm even letting on here. No, actually that's not true, but we can make this work. So we're going to make an about.html and copy that HTML content into it, which is important for context here. Grab this raw, excuse me, raw bits again. We'll go into our about.html, we'll paste everything, save for the front matter, which we no longer use in this Gatsby project. Then we're going to write our own little plugin to copy that to the public directory. So we just put that in pages about HTML. What I might do is create a folder for raw static, we'll call it, and in here, anything in here we're just going to copy to the public directory. So about.html, we'll move that there. And in about.html is the code we want. We're going to figure out how to do this stuff to the about. Don't copy anything that is the file don't copy anything is the file already exists at the location. That should be if. Cool. So we're basically going to be doing this. So here's how we're going to do it. Gatsby node. In here, we get a create pages. We want exports think that's it. It might be on create node. We can search the Gatsby docs. Ooh, using the static folder. This might actually just be the answer I need. Every website needs assets, images, style sheets, scripts, etc. When using Gatsby, we recommend importing assets directly in JavaScript files because of the benefits it provides. Yeah. However, there's an escape hatch you can use to add an asset outside of the module system. Awesome. You can create a folder named static at the root of your project. Wait, did I already do that? No, it's not at the root of the project, but that's okay. We might already have one of those. We don't. Every file you put in that folder will be copied to the public folder. It already does that. Amazing. If you need a file named sun.jpg to the static folder, it'll be copied to public/sun.jpg. Okay. So this is going to go here. Here? Here? How do I move this? Yeah. Will that do it? No. Damn it. Okay. We're just going to copy what's in about.html and delete this static folder. Sometimes it's a little difficult to get Visual Studio to do what I want. This is certainly one of those times. Okay, new folder, static, about.html. Paste the thing in and hit save. And now, compiled, we will do localhost 8000. The about page will still exist, but we want about.html. Ah, crud. Shoot. There's not a page yet at /about.html. Okay. We're going to figure this out. All right, I'm going to try something else. We're going to do Gatsby build and serve. Okay, now I'm serving this from localhost 9000. should get the same site. This is a production version of it. If I do this, there's my about page. So we're closing in on a viable solution, which would be, this is really just moving that problem from one repo to another. And I guess the magic happens if I can also then use this about content from the static directory in here. I think to do that, what I need to do is essentially delete the about page equals require the about HTML and then return about. I think that might do it. It's a little confusing. But I think that worked. I think that worked. And let's prove that. So let's put some React back in here. Return that. Oh, no. I'm running a built and not a dynamic one. Let's do it like this. I don't know if that actually worked. Cannot resolve FS in where? We don't have the file system here. Okay, that didn't work. I think it's possible that the file system isn't available here. And I have no idea what I just added to this project. Let's try npm repo fs. Security holder. npm package that holds a spot. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's not what we wanted. Cool. So fs should be a part of Node. It's the file system thing. And if I didn't have access to it before, I won't now. Okay, let's try. An appropriate loader to handle this file type. Let's get rid of that comment in about.html. No. Ooh, did I give it one too many layers? Okay. Let's read through that more closely. Well, I don't have a great answer for this right now. I may have to sit and think on this a bit. Really, in the end, what I need is for this page to be renderable. For this about page to be renderable in two separate ways. One, where the about page is rendered just as a raw HTML document with essentially what is just the body content of an HTML document. The other that's rendered as a full page. I'm not sure I've got a great answer for that right now. We've solved one of the problems here in that the about.html, this guy, is being put into the public directory, and when we serve this thing up as a production project, about.html appears and is usable, but I can't seem to use the content of that about.html on the about page component. And that's not really ideal. So the other way to do this is to figure out how to simplify this or make this a downloadable route. I'm gonna have to think on that a bit. The other way to do this is when I'm importing it from the other side of things, I could make it so that we strip out the body content from the loaded bits. I don't know that I have a great way to do that either. Yeah, okay. For now, well, I'm glad I started with a simple page, because I would have built a whole damn the other page in React and gone to great lengths only to be stymied by this. I want to test a few things, I think. I want to see if our other CMS system will really break if we import a full HTML page, which I'm pretty confident it will. I want to see if there's other ways to download content or push content to the public directory. Maybe after build, I can use the, what is a server-side jQuery-ish thing called? It's got a funny name. I forget what it is. I can use, after the pages are built, I can extract it, perhaps. And then alternately, I can just start to duplicate content where I have about.html and then the about page, which uses dynamic React stuff. And we'll be ready in such a time as we are able to pull the content from there. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, I'm gonna stop the stream here then. I'm disappointed to say that I don't have a good answer, but I need to think about this a bit. I can feel my brain doing backflips over here. We'll figure it out. I will make sure of that, and maybe I'll talk it through on the next stream. Until then, you people take care. I'm gonna take care. I'll see you next Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, have a great week, everyone. Catch you later.